Oh, I'm terrible, terrible at names. I just can't remember names to save my life, especially for people I haven't seen in years. There's no way I can remember their names. And I think it's partially because at my age, I've used up most of that 1 terabyte of memory that my head has. I might have maybe 400 megabytes of memory left over. And so my brain is dumping anything it can so I can still remember new things. So the first things it throws out are names. All those names I haven't used in so long are now in the recycle bin, and they're just gonna just be emptied out later. So in doing so, that's one of the things that makes social interactions really awkward for me, and why it gives me a lot of high anxiety is when I run into people that I supposedly know, who know me, and I don't know their names, I get so uncomfortable. And the thing is, when I was in high school, there was like maybe three, maybe four Asian people in the school, and so it was pretty easy to remember our names. And Vu was pretty easy to remember. 2 letters, Vu, and there he is. That's what he looks like, and he's always going to look like that. And so I'm in Walmart, and somebody from high school sees me. I'll hear them. I'll hear them from the distance, and I'll hear. Boo! Boo ha! And I'll be like, hey! Just trying my best to figure out what name goes with that face. That face seems so familiar, but I can't figure out who it is. And I'm too embarrassed to say, hey, I don't remember who you are. Could you tell me your name? So I'll try to figure it out. I'll ask them personal questions. So maybe something they'll tell me about their past will jog my memory, and then the name will pop back in. I might say something like, "Say, how's your sister doing?" And it might work, but most times not. They'll be like, I don't have a sister." And I'll be like, I was probably thinking about that lamp you had in your living room. Some reason I thought that was your sister back then, but not, I'm sorry. I'm, embarrassed. I'm sorry. But if that doesn't work, I'll try to work it into conversation somehow. If they ask me, "Oh, what are you doing now? You don't have any hobbies?" I'll be, "Oh, I do have one hobby in particular that I love doing. It's a great hobby. It's not well known yet. It's catching on, but you should do it too. Let me show you how this hobby works. It's a little thing you do where you stop, you put your hands in the air, and you say your name. It's fun. Watch this. Watch this. Voo! Voo-ha! Isn't that fun? You should try it. Mm, do it. Do it. But they don't do it. I mean, at that point, they're already walking away. They're trying to get away from you really fast. And like, um, Blah! Okay. No, the point is, I'm just really bad with social interactions. That's why I don't remember names. I get all stressed out about it. And then if they keep on talking, let's say we get past the name thing, they don't even care that I don't know their name, or they don't even know when they get past it, and they start talking. They'll just talk, 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 talk. And at that point, I'm trying to be polite. I'm listening. But the thing is, I have just minor allergies, nothing bad. I sniff every once in a while, but then I'll start to feel something right there, and they're talking to me, and they're not giving me a break to get away. And I'm thinking, is there a boogie there? There's a little boogie there. I feel it, but I don't want to make it obvious that I feel it, because you don't want them going, ew, So you try to find a way to get rid of it quickly. So in conversation, you just suddenly go, yeah, I was thinking about going there next week, and maybe we'll, see each other. And but it doesn't always work, because I mean, outside of a straight up just digging and getting out, just a little push, it doesn't get it, and all it does, it moves it. You're talking to them, they're talking to you, and you're just moving it, like it starts out right there, and then in between the conversation, like, hey, I was thinking about buying a new one, and I was going to do that tomorrow, and just right there, and I was there, and you just keep casually hoping they don't see it, and just give it, and I was going to invest in that. That was something I was considering, and maybe you can give me some hints on it, and then by the time you're done, you got it like right up here on the top of your head, and you're like, at this point, you just don't care, you just leave it there. So I mean. I just can't do this. This whole talking thing to people, it drives me crazy. So I try to end it quickly. Try to end it really quickly. So I will, find an excuse. I'll say, hey, I came in to get some milk and get home to my kids are waiting on me. So it's good to see you again. I'm so glad we ran into each other, and I'm so happy I know your name, and we're just gonna keep on going. And then we say bye, and then we leave. And you all done this. You know what I'm talking about. You leave and you go different ways in the store, but somehow like magnets, you end up meeting each other again. You're like, oh, hey, we just said goodbye, didn't we? Yeah, we did. That's pretty funny. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. See ya. And then you end up going to the same place because you're both checking out at the exact same time. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this register. Yeah, you go do over there, and you're just checking out, and you're trying to get through quickly, and you look up and like, oh, they're still there, and they're looking at you. Like, oh, you make eye contact. Hey, you just put in your card, you get your receipt, and like, okay, we're gonna leave now. Good to see you again. Good to see you. And they were like, yeah, yeah, maybe we'll get together. And, yeah, no, it was good to see you. And then you get out your shopping cart, you go to one exit, and they go to the other exit. And as you're getting out, you're trying to hurry, get to your car. And then you realize, oh, crap, they're in the same aisle as I am. And so we're walking down the aisle together, going to a car. That's the point. You don't even try to be awkward. You just ignore each other. I'm just gonna go to my car, and we're like, na 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 na. And then like, oh, they're parked right next to me. But your groceries like, yeah, this is so funny. It's funny how this happens. And you drive home, and you're like, okay, that's done. Pull in your driveway, and you realize, oh my gosh, they live in my house too, and they pull in next to me. Like, okay, well, we'll go in different doors. I go through the garage, they go to the front door. Like, oh, this has got to stop. And then you go to the bathroom because you've been holding a pee in for the last 20 minutes while they were talking. You go to the bathroom and you're peeing, and you look next to you. Oh man, they're in the bathroom right next to you peeing. It's like it never ends. And that's why I hate social interactions. It doesn't work. So the whole point is the reason I have this podcast I'm doing is an exercise for me to try to get better at talking to people. Because in the industry that I'm an actor. So I'm on set with a lot of people. And oftentimes when I meet someone the first time on the set, another actor, I don't know what to say. I was on set the other day with an actress who's in the movie Sinners. She introduced herself. I recognized her immediately. She introduced herself to me, and I could have asked her all sorts of questions, but I didn't because I couldn't talk to her. She made all the conversation. She initiated all the conversation. She saw my backpack has the Mr. Bungle logo on it because I like Mr. Bungle. It's a band. She goes, "Hey, Mr. Bungle, that's a great band." Like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And she looked down at my cowboy boots I was wearing because my costume had the cowboy boots that I brought, and she goes, "Oh, those are great cowboy boots. Where'd you get those?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, got them at Goodwill." It was just, I'm so bad at it. So the whole point of this podcast is I'm going to try to get better at that. And doing this every episode, I'm going to have someone on here, someone I know, make it a little easier. I got to baby steps. I don't want to bring in a complete stranger. Well, why would I bring in a complete stranger? And so today's guest, she's a wonderful human being. Her name is Marilyn Knapp. She's a fellow actress. I don't know if we're allowed to use actress anymore. I don't care. All this PC stuff. So anyway, we've been on set together. We met on set. We've worked together on different projects. She's also a screenwriter, I believe. She's been writing screenplays, and I'm just happy to have her as my first guest. I thought, I know her enough where this way, and even when I meet Marilyn in person when we're together on set, even then I still have a hard time talking to her, and I know her really well. And so today I wanted to start with her. So today I'm going to bring in Marilyn. We're going to talk, and you guys just hang out, learn a little bit about me, a little bit about her, and follow me on this journey and see how I do. So here we go. I'm going to go and switch on over. I'm going to bring Marilyn in, and let's get this thing started. Okay, so we have here with us Marilyn Knapp. She is a good friend of mine. We have worked together in quite a few different projects, usually background work, but we've had a couple of features that we worked together. Marilyn, How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good. How's the weather treating you today?
On and off rain, but
On off rain? Yeah,
yeah.
I like to ask that question first because that's the most awkward question because everyone just does it, and I don't know if we ever. I'm trying to think. Did I listen and hear what you said? You said it rained, right? On and off rain. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
My problem is we oftentimes when I ask the question, it's so just socially automatic that I don't even wait for the answer, and so that's bad on my part. So I'm trying to get better on that. So
Okay.
everyone, I want you all to meet Marilyn here. She has done so much work. She is an actress. Actress. I still question, do we say actress or is it everyone actor now? I don't know how that works anymore.
It doesn't matter to me. That's all
Okay.
right.
I
Yeah.
like actresses because it's just actors seem like boring, whatever. But it was actress. So you're my actress friend, and I first met Marilyn on the set of The Tower. I think that's the first time we met in person because you were just
Yes.
leaving. Yes,
Yes.
yes, and we were on the same casting agency, and we'd
Yes.
known each other through the Facebook posts and stuff, but we never actually physically met. And I
Right.
remember I was
Yeah.
just coming in, and you were just leaving for the day, and the first thing you said was, "Can I get a hug?" And I was like, "Okay," because you said I'm a hugger, and I said, "Okay," and I am one of those people who were, "Okay, let's do this."
Oh no. See, I was worried about that.
No, but it wasn't against it. It's just I'm not used to it. So, you give me a hug. It was very friendly. And that's the one of the things I liked about you. Like you never met me before in person, and here you are, you wanting to give me a hug. It made me feel so welcomed. And so I really like that about you. So I mean, you've been pursuing acting for how long now?
Well, officially for 6 years,
6 years
2020. I actually did a couple things before that, but then I got my first speaking role in 2020 with Alone. And
alone. Exactly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I say officially 2020, so 6 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that makes sense. You want to count that first project as your official one because
Right,
before
right.
I'm just acting in my bathroom and it doesn't count. I'm just acting in the shed.
No,
I've
no.
been doing it all my life, but no, but that's to me, alone is like it's not a first time actor role because oh my gosh, those of you who have not seen Alone, um, you have to watch it. I think you can look it up on YouTube. Jason Pitts is the writer and director, and
And Tubi.
and Tubi. Okay, that Tubi, and so Marilyn, you look at her, sweet. Look how sweet and kind she is. And spoiler alert, if you don't know what's going to happen here, you guys might want to step away because she is a murderer. A murderer. I remember after meeting you, looked up your filmography and I saw that you did this movie called Alone. Like, oh, she's like the main person in it, so I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it. Oh, yeah, she seems very nice. Okay, she's getting kind of unhinged here in the restaurant, and then you get to the end, and like, holy crap! You sold it too. You sold that.
Thank
How
you.
did you feel being a villain on your very
I
first?
love it. It's
Did you?
so fun and freeing. It's like, oh, I get to kill somebody, or it's
But I mean, what did you do? Do you want to kill people in real life?
no.
Okay, that's the thing is, how did you prepare for that? I mean, when I look at you, I don't ever see killer, which makes you an even better killer for that reason. But I mean, how did you prepare for that role?
Um, uh, Kathy Bates, Misery.
Oh, that's a great,
Yeah,
great one. So you
yeah.
just watched that and kind of felt her energy and stuff like that.
Well, I've watched that movie so many times, even before I got that role. And when I read through the script, I was like, oh, this is Annie Wilkes.
Well,
I
you
mean, mostly, Annie Wilkes.
Oh, I could totally
Yeah,
see that now that you've
yeah,
said that.
yeah.
No, and since then, how many killers have you played?
Um, one other.
Was it
Yeah,
in The Forest Through the Trees then?
Yes, it was.
Yes, yes. The Forest of the Trees. That's the one movie that we did together where we were both weren't just background people,
Right, right. Yeah,
and we didn't have a scene together, but I was on set with you on that first day. I actually remembered. I came on set and I wasn't actually going to do my scene until the very end of the day, but I wanted to be there because I didn't want to be driving in the middle of the night because you guys are shooting overnight. Yeah, it
right,
was like all night long, and
right.
spoilers again. If you haven't seen The Forest Through the Trees, go away. Oh my gosh. Tell us about that character. Tell us how would you describe that character before the big twist.
Well, I mean, she was a neighbor to Chloe and Ken, and she just really, like she's like the self-appointed neighborhood watch person. She, a lonely woman. She's got a little dog, and she walks around the neighborhood and talks to people and checks on them. How are you doing? Are you
I
okay?
have a neighbor just like that. And
Okay.
my neighbor across the street is exactly like how you described, and even the way you portrayed it in the film is similar to her. And
Right.
now it's really making me wonder if I want to be friendly with her anymore because
I'm sure she's fine.
I don't know. I don't know. You seem fine in the movie too, but he kills the dog.
I,
She kills her dog.
oh, Truffles, come here.
In the movie, she
I
kills
know.
the dog, chops him. I don't know if it's chili or it's like spaghetti, but whatever it is, the dog is in there, and
It was
she
a stew.
they don't show it, but there's a hint of it. You see the little sweater thing that she was wearing it earlier, and then if you had to come up with a story as to why you chose to kill the dog, why did she do that?
She didn't need it anymore.
She doesn't need it. So the whole time it was just there for the front of the nice.
Yes.
Ah,
And to get people to come, oh, what a cute little dog. Oh, yeah.
that sounds like every relationship I've ever had.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't need you anymore. Chop you up, put you in the chili. So outside of those two roles,
Mhm.
how many roles? I mean, have you done any other roles outside of being a murderer that you enjoy playing?
Um, I did recently play well, she could have been a murderer. It was rumored that she was a murderer, but she was a cougar, a 70-year-old
Oh
cougar.
yes, yes, we were on set together for that.
Yeah,
I was doing background work, and I'm not going to say the name of the movie. I know it's out there, it's public information,
it's
but I
out.
don't know how much we're allowed to talk about NDA and everything like that. But we
Yeah,
did a movie that filmed here in Northwest Arkansas, and it's a fairly big production. It's got some big name people in it, and I walked in, and I was just background, just one of the gala people who were there at the auction, and um, Marilyn is there, and I'm like, hey, it's Marilyn. We're doing background work again today, yay! And then they start setting everything up, and she gets up in front, and she's got this major part in the scene where she's actually interacting with the other actor, like. I was so proud of you. I was so happy seeing you up there. I was like,
yeah.
she deserves this. She deserves this. And how did you feel doing that? I mean, when did you get the call for that role?
First it was a background role,
Okay.
and then I guess they liked my little audition for this featured background role, and then they asked uh our agent said, would you be available to go up to the studio, possibly meet with the person, and then, or maybe they might do it on Zoom for a callback. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And the next thing I know, he sent like scripted lines for the callback. And so I had to do another audition for it. And then here's how it felt. It just kept growing and growing and growing. But even when I got on set, I didn't know if I'd just still be standing there or what I would do. And the director came in and said, hey, just have fun with it. It's okay. Just have fun with it. And the first uh, assistant director said, look, we saw your second audition for it, And we said, you are that character. So just go with it. And honestly, that made me feel so free just to be the character and not knowing what was happening around me necessarily. But it was so much fun.
You really owned that character. Well, I was actually in the back of that scene. I was one of the gala people in the back, and I was standing with a few other actors back there, and I was standing next to this young lady. She's actually a new actor. She's wanting to break into business, and she we were in a scene together previously for the same film a week earlier, and then we came back, and and I was kind of mentoring her do that. And so I was standing there kind of talking through things and stuff, and she really wants to do this for a bit for a living. And as we were shooting the scene with you, without giving anything away, I'm just gonna say after like the fourth take or something, fourth or fifth take,
Oh,
she comes
no.
over to me and she says, "That lady is mean." She looks so mean like that, and I go, "Ah, Marilyn," and I said, "You don't know how mean this woman can get."
Oh, no.
She is absolutely wonderful, so sweet, so kind, so friendly. But man, this is nothing compared to what she's done in other movies. And the young lady was shocked. Shocked. I was explaining to her that you've murdered people in other movies. It's like, so this is nothing. And but yeah, we had a kick. We all had a kick. Everyone in the room was having a kick in that. So I can't wait to see it when it comes out because it's gonna be so cool watching it all in its final edited version.
Yeah, hopefully I don't end up on the cutting room
Oh,
floor.
there's no way it could. Sorry, I had
Yeah,
to get a little something there, but
that's okay.
you have one of those moments that I like to call the sort of the security blanket roles, where the way it's incorporated into the scene, you can't cut it out because it would make no sense if we cut you out of
Yeah.
that scene. Because the
Yeah.
whole thing involves, and I'm not going to say the spoiler, but it involves their interaction with this other character. If they cut you out, it'll make no sense at all. They'd have to cut the whole scene in order to do that. And I don't see why they do that because they need to have the scene to segue into the next part of it. So
Right, right, right.
and I do that with every role that I do is and those of you who aren't familiar, when you're an actor, there's no guarantee your scene is going to be in the final version. So
No.
when I do a role, I think, okay, I just did that, I'm done. Is this something that they can cut out and still make sense? And if they say yes, I go, yeah, I'm screwed. That scene's gonna get cut because they don't need me. But no,
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about that. Has there ever been any roles or performances, or can you think of a performance that you did that you weren't happy about? Because we all have them, and we don't ever talk about. They don't want to talk about this was the scene I loved, and I love doing this one here, blah blah. But I have quite a few of them. But what would you say is a performance you can think of that you weren't happy about, and if you could, you go back and change it?
Um, I recently did a short film. I had just gotten the script about 5 days out, and it had heavy dialogue.
Oh yeah.
And I have an old brain, so it's hard to get stuff to stick, although I felt like I worked on it really hard and I felt like it was in there. Um, when it came time to shoot, yeah, it was a struggle.
Was it?
I still managed to get it out pretty well. But and I wish that I just had more time,
Mm,
is the main thing. But I think I got the character down good. And uh, because every time I'm on set, I want to fully know the dialogue. I
mhm,
want to
mhm.
know it. I want to own it. Of course, it might come out a little bit differently when you're there, but I always strive to get it word perfect, always.
Wow,
And
you're much more ambitious than I am. Because word perfect is not my thing, but go ahead, go on, sorry.
no, it's okay. But I was told recently that the performance turned out really good and they were happy with me. And I think they did a lot in the editing to make it all work. So, yeah.
That's great when you have a production that is willing to help you out in that, because I've heard horror stories where, the director gets pissed and the director's is like, no, get her out of here. I want someone else in there. And I'm glad I haven't had to deal with that yet, but I've heard,
Yes.
the big, like, what's that? There's a notorious one. Well, what's the director? He did the, Silver Linings Playbook, I think, and but there's a movie. There's actually a video out there of him screaming at Lily Tomlin. I mean, who screams at Lily Tomlin? I mean,
Hey,
a national treasure, but he's like just yelling at her and just like cussing at her because he's frustrated about the scene not going right or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I never have to work with anyone like that.
right, right.
But
Yeah, I
no,
would
I'm
have
glad they
to
worked
go
with you.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that for me. I can't memorize things word for word if it's a long piece. I have to have that flexibility to kind of adjust it based on how my memory can spit it out. And so if you work with a director and a writer who's comfortable with that and
Yeah.
willing to work with you, that's great. But when you have one that says, no, you have to say every word, every syllable exactly the way I have it, because these words are my art, these words are
Mhm.
my vision, and you can't change it. Oh, that's just so rough for me.
Yeah. And everybody has their own voice. But like I said, I strive always to be word perfect. But if it's written, this is amazing, I might say this is fantastic instead.
yeah.
I mean, it might just come out like that, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And then to me, if the actor can do it and it still preserves the context and the energy and the spirit of what the scene means, it should be fine. But I'm not one to criticize directors, but I am criticizing directors. You hear me? Give us more flexibility. No, I'm kidding. I haven't had a role yet where it's been that demanding and stuff. A lot of my roles I've ever had is usually short bits here, short bits there, and I can use it. And if it is a little longer than that, I can usually get most of it, and they've accepted it, so that's fine with
Yeah,
that. I think
yeah.
for me, the I think the performance I'm most disappointed in was and this is gonna sound funny, but the forest through the trees. Now, I'm not saying my overall performance in that, but my final scene, that performance, I struggle with because and no one else sees it because people don't see what's in my head and they don't see my nuances and stuff that I am critical about. But if you remember, that scene was shot, and those of you who have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Those who haven't seen it, you may want to go away, spoiler. But at the end of the movie, after the credits, or midway through the credits, my character Tim, he's like the war buddy to the main character. He shows up 8 hours after everyone's been murdered and killed and everything. And he's supposed to be there to help, but he's useless. He gets out of the truck and he approaches the lead character to see what's going on, but then she's possessed by a demon by the time he gets there. Um, when we shot that, it was at the end of the day. I don't know how many hours you guys had just shot. It was like what, 8 hours, 10 hours, like that.
I
And
don't know. It
it
was
was
a
early
long,
morning because they had to do it early morning for the timing of when I would arrive during the scene. And Annie, of Chloe, the character's name's Chloe, is walking down the street. And when we shot that, I had to jump out of that truck and I had to be very like panicked and kind of freaked out. And I had to approach her to get her attention and ask what's going on. In my head, I had it where there was a longer stretch of time for me to say my lines. I'd get out of the vehicle and I thought it was going to be shot where you had time to walk up to her. She's a little further down and I could say my lines and go up to her and kind of pause here and then turn around. But it wasn't. It was going to be, you're going to pull up a little further from her. You're going to get out. You're going to walk up to her in like, 4 seconds and turn her around. That's it. So I'm like, oh crap, I got to get all that in. It's not a lot, but for me, I was like trying to say it before I reached her. I had to say, and then it already been, 8, 10 hours. I'd been there all night. I wasn't shooting, but I wanted to be there so I could feel that little method side of me. I wanted to feel what it's like to be awake all night driving. And so I was tired, but I knew, Annie was tired. I knew that she was tired because she'd been shooting all night. I didn't want to do multiple takes. So when I did that one take and I got out and I went up to her and said the lines, I felt like I rushed it. And every time I hear like, I'm just saying all these words really fast and I turn around and it makes me uncomfortable when I watch it now every day because I feel very rushed. I know everyone is fine with it, but it
yeah.
bothers me to see it. And it is one of the things, and that was my very first scene that I shot. in the film too, because that was the very first day. And I shot my other scenes later, which I already had a better feel of the character, and that's why those scenes, in my opinion, are better than that last shot. So
Yeah.
that's what sticks in my head. So
Yeah, I understand that, but you know what? It was great.
I
It
know,
was
I know.
great.
I still need to ask Jason one day why they cut out my death in it. Because you remember in the original script, after I approach
Yeah.
Chloe,
Yeah.
um, it goes black, and then you hear me scream.
Right.
And we actually recorded screaming. I screamed like I think three
Yeah.
or four times. So I was
Yeah.
anxious to see it on screen, but when we actually premiered it and they shot it or they showed it, I didn't scream at the end. It was black. Like, so I survived. So that's cool.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to hear me screaming, you know? 'Cause I told my son, I died at the end. I died at the end stuff. But I need to remember to ask Jason, why did you cut my scream out? Not that I
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. And you worked hard on that scream.
Oh, I wanted to sound like I was being ripped apart and stuff, so I don't know how it actually sounded, but that's what I was pulling for when I was saying it.
Yeah.
So Marilyn, what do you see yourself doing a year from now? What would you like? Where would you like to be a year from now? What would you be doing?
I would be doing more SAG films. And
Nice, nice.
I got my first taste with that film we talked about. I should
The
probably should.
one, you know what? That's a very
Yes.
public knowledge. It's public knowledge. They posted it,
Yes.
so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the whole
Um,
NDA thing makes me kind of go, okay, am I allowed to say this? Because I saw all these things about it, but
right, right. Um, and last year my goal was to become SAG eligible.
hmm
And this year I would like to do that. And then if I can't do it this year, um, do it next year. But do more SAG films, more and they can be principal roles in supporting. I don't have to, be a big role, lead or
You
any.
want to do slightly, in a way, bigger productions, maybe? Because I
Yeah.
mean, nothing against the local film community. I just want to be
Oh,
very clear about this.
absolutely
Because I
not.
mean, all these short films, all these low budget, modest feature films, you guys are great, and I love them, and I want to support them. But as an actor, there's a part of you that wants to do these slightly higher profile positions, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Unless you become a snob and you never want to do all the other stuff anymore.
Oh,
That.
I will continue to do short films and support everybody and love every minute of doing it.
And I think that's great. I love actors who do that. There are actors out there who actually, like Will Ferrell, Brad Pitt, something who will do small, minor, little walk-ons or something like that in a movie just for the heck of it. I love
Yeah,
that. I love,
yeah.
or if they might. I've seen some where they didn't even speak. They just showed up in the background. And you're like,
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. I love it when they do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to be that type of actor where if I'm ever at the point where I can be big, I still want to do
Yeah.
little roles and stuff here and there. Because they're not little roles, but they're not the roles you expect people to do once they get to that level. Now, of course,
Right.
I know SAG may prevent you from doing some stuff, but I think in
Sure.
Arkansas, you have the right to work law, which allows you to do non-SAG production still if you're SAG. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but
Yeah. But there's also a thing, not that I don't plan on joining SAG. I
mhm.
just want because of our location, our um area here. But I want to be eligible,
Yeah.
SAG eligible. And if I ever did, uh, I think there's a thing called FICOR,
Yes, yes.
which is probably the route I would go.
That's kind of, yeah, I've had conversations with some other actors. I actually have another friend who's an actor and she was talking about that. And
Yeah,
I think that's the way to go personally. I think that's the best way for us.
yeah,
Where
because
we
of our market and stuff. Yeah, where we're at. Yeah, yeah.
are. What kind of things, sometimes when I decided to do this, I know it's technically a podcast, but I wanted to be more of a talk show than a podcast. Because sometimes the podcast label, I don't want to offend anyone who's doing a podcast, but I just feel like podcasts seem so simple. Just a couple of guys hanging out talking, and just I want this to be more of a as if I'm promoting someone and something they're doing and whatnot. And that's actually why I'm wearing this outfit because I want to be more like a talk show, but I wasn't ready to actually do a person on person thing. That was a little bit more
Get
than my.
dressed up.
Yeah, I think you look great. You look
Oh,
great. And that was the other thing. I kind of didn't want to let you know on what level. This is because
okay.
this kind of organic, we're gonna figure this out type of thing I'm going here. But anyone who shows up on this afterwards will understand now. Like, oh, Vu's going to be in a suit, so I'm gonna dress up. But you know what? That day I might just wear a wife beater instead and then throw you off. But I don't mean wife beater in the literal sense. I'm talking about the redneck t-shirt tank top thing. You don't cancel me. Um, what do you what do you read? Do you like to read, Marilyn?
I used to. I don't read so much
Don't read
anymore.
much anymore.
I used to, my favorite author is Stephen King.
Of course,
Yeah,
that
of
that.
course. Yeah, I love Stephen King. He's done some really great works, for sure. Um, um, yeah, I must say that I need to read more.
So what was the last book on in a very literal sense? Was the very last book that you've read?
Max Brooks.
Max Brooks. When did you read that?
Um, Probably around COVID. I don't know.
COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leading up to something here. I'm leading
Oh,
up to a very gratuitous, almost shameful. Have you ever read this book?
oh, I'm sorry. Oh no. I have failed. I have failed. I own it. It's right over there. I'm so sorry.
You didn't do anything wrong. This was my way of sneaking in this fake promo. Hey guys, this is my children's book. I just put this out. It's a very sell it for me, Marilyn. Sell this book for me. Tell everyone about it. You don't have to give away any spoilers, but if you had to sell this, if you're telling someone right now, go, why should I buy the cat garden? How would you do it?
I would say that it's beautifully illustrated and written, and it's very touching. It's also a little bit unusual. And yes, and I think intentionally so, right, Vu? But it's something that I think that children could pick up with their parents and talk about, because it deals with the grief of a lost pet or pets. And but it's beautifully done, and I my grandchildren did read it, the two oldest, and I've got some notes for you.
Oh, I loved it. Didn't see them. You either give them here, or you can send it to me later,
I'll
whatever.
send it to you later.
Yeah.
But I thought it was very well done, and I wish I had half that talent.
Oh, stop it. I appreciate that. Thank you. If anyone wants to order it, it's available on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com. Just look up The Cat Garden by Haus. It's my pen name. It's going to be V Haus, but the V is not in yet. But it's Haus, Hahaus, because I'm trying to. I don't know why I chose to do that. For some reason I just felt like seeing Vu Ha on there, maybe you'll go, what the heck is a Vu Ha? But then I put on Ha House, like, what the heck is that? I'm not stupid. I'm stupid, but that's
I knew
okay.
what it
Anyway,
was.
I was leading into my next question here is you have recently worked on a screenplay.
I have.
So you're going to that writer territory.
I
Did you finish
am.
that?
It's very terrifying, but I feel better about it. I joined the Northwest Arkansas Screenwriters Collective, about, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Just kind of get a better perspective as an actor to screenwriters and what they do, and then I was encouraged by a few people to write my own, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But I did last fall, kind of wrapped it up mostly late last year, and then started approaching people to read a lot more. I mean, a lot more people to read it and to give me feedback. And One of the people that I went to was Dan Robinson of New Harvest Creative. He also does your media and Fayetteville Public Television. And he said, yeah, I think it's very tight, and we would love to help you produce it. So that's where I'm at on it. Um, I, yeah, it's a big leap for me. It's called Faculties and Facilities, and,
Hmm.
and it's about my parents when they're older and me helping them to find extra help and get into a 24/7 facility for the last years. And what I hope it does is to share with people that there is a process to it, especially for people that have no money.
Hmm.
And it's not a total downer, believe me. They ended up in a facility and they were quite happy, and the facility took very good care of them. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I want to kind of honor my parents that way and also help people understand the process that I went through.
So this is like almost like a based on, real life
It
events.
is. It's a real life thing.
Okay.
Although we've changed up some of it, it's not exact, of
Yeah, of
course.
course, of course.
But hopefully it will share a story that will help others and be meaningful. I mean, it was a meaningful process for me.
I do hope that you get to follow through on next steps with this. Just writing alone, that's an incredible achievement right there. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the discipline to write a screenplay because of the way the structure is and everything. I wrote this little novella years ago called Love in a Box, and it's a sort of a crime noir sci-fi body horror story, and it's a romantic body horror story, and I love the story so much, and I want to make a film out of it, but I
Yes.
have to change it into screenplay format. And the problem is the book is written in your classic sort of gumshoe crime noir style where the main private dick is talking throughout the whole thing. And like, how do I convert that to a screenplay? Because you don't want them just narrating all the way through the film. You want to be able to have it where, show, don't tell type of situation. But that's where I've been kind of not sure how I'm going to go with it yet. So I'm stuck in the even starting part.
Um, Final draft. You know
And
about that,
and
right?
that's what my friends have recommended, but I guess my problem is how do I convert it where it's not him narrating all the way through the movie?
Uh,
My screenplay, how to convert it to a format where you visually tell that story instead of
right.
him narrating everything, and so that's
Sure.
where I got stuck. So
Yeah.
I applaud you for finishing yours, and and then now the fact that you're working towards producing
Yep. We
that.
should we should actually shoot hopefully in September. So
Oh, this year. So
yeah, yeah.
how many characters are you going to be casting for?
There are five, and Mark Crandall is going to be the director.
Oh, I love Mark. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
I've worked with him before, and
And anyway, yeah, I'm working toward I'm trying to do as much myself so I can learn this whole yeah,
oh,
it's weird.
I think that is the best attitude to have, the best approach. I have a friend, who's also working on a project similar to yours. She has a screenplay and she's wanting to go into, producing it, directing it, filming, everything, and she's doing all of it herself so she can learn it too and stuff. And yeah, I just think when people are that ambitious and they follow through on it, that's just impressive to me.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part is just doing it. We all say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but so many of us don't because I got busy here and I didn't have this, whatever. And I
yeah,
love that you're doing that.
yeah. Thank you very much.
But with that, Marilyn, we are at time. So before we wrap up for now, is there anything last things that you would like to say to anyone out there, or anything you want to promote, or just something you want to get off your mind? Anything? It's all yours. I'll give you this moment.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed this very much. I hope that everybody continues to follow Vu hates talking to people because obviously he doesn't seem to mind too much, but
This little format we're in, this makes it easier for me to do.
yes.
If we were in person, it'd be totally different.
Yeah, I totally understand. I have some anxiety issues in socially, but I'm working on getting through that, and I hope everybody tries their best to just breathe and be happy and understand that the world is much bigger and better than on social media.
Beautiful words in Maryland. Here, put your hands up. We're gonna hold hands here. Put your hands up. Okay. Are we touching it? Okay, I don't know if I am. Okay. Hands across America. Yeah, that's still close to the way it was in real life because I think there was gaps all over America when they did that. Do you remember the Hands Across America thing?
It was
It was
like,
not successful. There's so many gaps. People weren't holding hands. But I don't know. That just shows my age there. But Marilyn, that's great words of just wisdom, and I thank you for being my first person. I came up with this idea a while back, and I thought, I should just do it. Just like talking about earlier, if you're gonna do it, just do it. So I wanted to just go and jump in and do it, and you were available, and I was like, and actually, you were the first person that came to my head. I was like, who should I start out with? I didn't want to interview, because I've seen so many local podcasts. They always have the same people on there, and I thought, I'm gonna do someone different. I want to have someone who doesn't get as much shining through all these different projects and stuff. And I thought, hey, Marilyn's great. She needs to be on here. So, the seven people who are going to watch this, they'll know you. No, I always make fun of myself. I'm sure maybe more will watch or whatever, but I do appreciate you and good luck on everything. And you always impress me, and I'm always happy to see you on set. Like when I go on set and I see you, like Marilyn, yay! It's always nice. So.
same here, Vu.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. And we're going to go ahead and wrap. And one thing I'd like to do, and this is how I'm going to close out this episode. I'll probably close out every episode like this, is like you said, I talked okay here on the thing today. I didn't show any real anxiety, but the truth is, it's a Zoom call. I can do Zooms. I do that for a living. But had we done this in person, it would have turned out so much differently. And if you guys don't understand how stressed out I get about in-person conversations, we're just going to do one right now. And Marilyn has volunteered to just go ahead and help me conduct this so you guys can see what this thing would have been like had we been in the same room together or whatever we're in the Zoom, but we'll pretend like we were. So we're gonna start fresh here, and then after this, we're gonna sign out. Um, Marilyn, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, yeah, good. I mean, yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah. It's weather. How's the weather?
Yeah, it's rainy.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been out there?
I stay inside when it rains.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that work.
Yeah.
Did you do have you done any movies lately?
A couple. Yeah.
Couple? Couple?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Was it like big, like anyone like famous on them?
Maybe one or two.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Anyone I know?
Um, I'm not sure. Who do you know?
Uh, was Brad Pitt in it?
No.
Keanu Reeves?
I wish.
Okay, me too. Me too. Um, you know what? I just remembered. I forgot to take care of something. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And just I'll be right back. Okay? I'll be right back.
Okay. Hello? Vu? Hello?
Is it gone? Yeah, okay. I, yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. It was really uncomfortable. I'm gonna go ahead and end this.